It's Kwanzaa, Kwanzaa, Kwanzaa. Welcome to Rochelle Lightfoot's Kwanzaa Celebration Special. Today's episode centers around the principle of KUJICHAGALIA, meaning self-determination, to define ourselves, name ourselves, create for ourselves, and speak for ourselves. Stay tuned for a powerful performance by operatic baritone Angel Refuse. Then we'll speak to Angel about his self-determination and how it helped him build a phenomenal musical performance career and much more. Later, I will sing Everything Must Change with my Sweet Vibes Trio Band. Now, on to the show. Are you looking for a venue for your next special event? Well, Art at the Elks has it all. Enjoy hosting your next conference, workshop, reception, birthday party, trade show, or business meeting at a spacious location within an intimate atmosphere. Boasting over 7,000 square feet of multi-use event spaces, the center also offers 6 gallery-style studios and 5 co-working office spaces. It features a separate bar area, prep kitchen, valet parking, and security. The Art at the Elks is located conveniently in the heart of the city at 4949 Northwest 7th Avenue in Miami, Florida. Call to book your facility tour appointment today at 786-520-3980. And we look forward to serving you.
Spoke to the sea and the seas was still. Now ain't that a witness for my Lord? Ain't that a witness for my Lord? Ain't that a witness for my Lord? So there's a witness for my Lord. Now there was a man of the Pharisees, name was Nicodemus, and in believed. Came to Christ by night. Oh, it took me no out of human sight. Nicodemus was a man desired to know how a man could be born when he is old. Christ told Nicodemus as a friend, man, you must be born again. Said, marvel not man, if you want to be wise, repent, believe, and be baptized. Now you'll be a witness for my Lord. You'll be a witness for my Lord. You'll be a witness for my Lord. So there's a witness for my Lord. Read about Samson from his birth, strongest man that ever lived on earth. Way back yonder in ancient times, we hear the tale of the side. Did old Samson wondering about? Samson's strength was never found out. Till his wife sat upon his knee, she said, tell me where your strength lies, if you please. Samson's wife, she talked so fair. Samson said, cut over my hair. Shave my hair just as clean as your hand, and my strength will come like natural man. Now Samson was a witness for my Lord. Samson was a witness for my Lord. Samson was a witness for my Lord. So is a witness for my Lord. There's another witness. Now there's another witness. Now there's another witness. My soul is a witness for my Lord. My Lord. My soul is a witness for my Lord.
Turn heads, look and feel great in an award-winning outfit from celebrity clothing designer Shannon St. Clair. Whether you're shopping for men or women's clothing, you'll find sizes from small to 3X. Also, shop her handcrafted jewelry, hats, handbags, and Greek paraphernalia. With over 100 celebrities wearing her designs and accessories, you'll be sure to find what you need at Shannon St. Clair Boutique. Call for your appointment today at 954-812-8088 or shop the boutique online at shannonstclair.com. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to day 2 of our Kwanzaa celebration. Today, we are talking about self-determination, KUJICHAGALIA. And I have in studio with me a special guest, opera singer extraordinaire, Angel Refusé. Hello, Angel. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me, and it's a pleasure to be here with you.
So tell me, Angel, how did you get started in singing opera? Tell me about your humble beginnings.
So, fortunately, I've had an opportunity to experience opera here in Liberty City. So this was my first introduction, was singing in Miami Northwestern's PAVAC chorale, just for an extra credit. So it wasn't my career ambition. My goal in life was I wanted to study Pan-Africanism, and I wanted to be a doctor of natural medicine. That's where I thought I was going.
Wow.
When I got to the fine arts chorus, I remember like it was yesterday. I remember walking in the room and I was like, these children are some singing people.
Oh, right.
They really could sing. I heard great gospel singers. They had some that has, an innate jazz style. And I wanted to hang out with the crew, so to speak. I wanted to find something that I could do. So I started listening to everything, because the background that I came from, gospel music wasn't a thing, because I came from a more so like Afro-Caribbean background.
Okay.
So traditional hymns, like we know, it wasn't a thing in my, religious music that I heard. So I started exploring, and I put in the CD, and I remember hearing Pavarotti and Renato Scotto. Remember those names. Remind me that a little bit later. So I heard, and I was like, how can a human voice do all those, vibrato and all these
acrobatics?
It's unworldly. And me and my naivete said, well, could I do this? And mind you, I'm never, singing wasn't my thing. I've been on stage as an actor, but I didn't have a musical quality to my sound.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a learned singer. Unlike yourself, Rochelle, you're a beautiful natural talent. I had to learn.
Right.
So I started on this journey, finding out. So I'll never forget, there was a lady by the name of Yvonne Donaldson.
Right.
Who was she? I remember going to church one day, because I went to like one of those non-denominational churches, and I had experience going to, Catholic churches. So like I told you, the Black church wasn't my thing. So I remember hearing her, and they're singing "Now Behold the Lamb" by Kirk Franklin, and she's wailing over it, but soaring like she's singing Verdi, and I'm like, she sounds like the person on the CD. So after the service, I ended up going to her, and I said, well, excuse me, ma'am, do you know where I can find someone to teach me to sing like you? This is my 16-year-old self talking. Okay. She says, well, I'm glad you asked me, because I'm a voice teacher. That serendipitous, that kind of immediacy, I was like, this, okay, so how much do we start? And I didn't have parents growing up. So I was like, well, this is going to cost me. And she's like, well, my lessons are $25. And my lunch money was $25. So I said, well, there's a solution. So I would skip lunch and would pay for my singing lessons to advance myself, so that I could hang out and offer something. It was rough in the beginning. It wasn't good, mm-hmm. But there was a quality to my sound then, because I have a recording of me singing then, that was kind of pretty beautiful, so to speak. So I was really excited about this journey. Mm-hmm. Following that, I went into the Jubilate ensemble through the PAVAC Magnet program. Right. Yeah, let me know if I'm rambling, Rochelle. No, feel free to chime in. And in that, I got exposed to singing back up like the blues. I got to sing spirituals. With the Jubilate program, I actually got a chance to. This is when arts extracurricular activities were funded in Miami-Dade County, and they sponsored my first classical voice recital, because by this point I had been studying voice with Miss Yvonne for a year, and I developed a talent that was substantial. My first public solo, I got a standing ovation for singing classical music. Mm-hmm. So it kind of felt at home. So it's all that I know when it comes to singing from that point in my life. And then I auditioned to New England Conservatory, UM. What was the other school I auditioned? New World School of the Arts. I auditioned to Boston Conservatory. Mm-hmm. I got into 3 out of the 4. Oh. And 2 of which are two of which are 13% acceptance rates.
Okay.
So if Boston Conservatory thought I was good enough, then maybe I should pursue it, was my mind frame. I had no idea of how much work you have to put into career, how much planning, strategic, but I mean, I would say that's my humble beginning in a nutshell, so to speak.
I heard you say something while you were talking just now. You said you didn't grow up with parents. So tell me about that, because that sounds like a journey by itself.
Sure. Well, I grew up, I like to say, in the care of my family. My grandmother was a very pivotal part of my upbringing.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say my mom left me at 10 years old. She was a single parent.
Okay.
And one of the things that I like to say that's a huge inspiration, even to this very instant, is her on our last conversation with her being conscious. She said, "I'm not going to be with you forever, but it's very important that you learn how to carry on. You can call on me and I promise you that I will be there."
Mm-hmm.
But what she said that I think is something spiritual, and I think is true, because I think that's like one of my, if there's a warrior angel, there's Saint Michael, and then there's my mama. So, and I really have that kind of feeling. She says, "I'm more for you in death than I could ever be for you in life."
Oh, wow.
You'll understand. Wow. You'll understand.
Wow.
But don't feel sorry. Don't let my not being around hinder you from achieving who you want to be. If you need me, call me. And that was the most comforting and reassuring thing, and the most heartbreaking thing that I've experienced. But where she left off, fortunately, her mother was one heck of a human being to help. I wouldn't say fill the gap, because there's nothing like mother, but
right.
But to continue the cultivation and development. So I was fortunate to have my grandmother to step in and continue in that regard. So.
Wow, that's a beautiful story. So tell me a bit about your organization, your foundation.
Yeah. So I recently, in the time of COVID, I've been doing a lot of work with Florida Grand Opera in their education and outreach department. I had the opportunity, due to our general director, Susan Danis, who presented me this opportunity. And it was so enriching to work in the community and give my art, which is opera and classical singing, to the community at large. And it was a beautiful experience. Moving on, I helped pilot a few projects, mm-hmm. which inspired me to start Artistic Legacy Collective.
Okay.
One of the things that I see that's missing in the classic arts is the proper representation of who we are and our cultural contributions historically.
Okay.
When I say a name like Le Chevalier de Saint-Georges, this is a composer who was present, and he was a chief of a musical chief of the court of Marie Antoinette in 1700s.
African American?
Yeah, he's Afro-French.
Afro-French.
And he was born in the island of Guadeloupe, earned his freedom, and by the time he reached that prominence during the time of the French Revolution, under the reign of Marie Antoinette, he was an educated man, learned in university. Mm-hmm. He was a master. He was the best fencer in all of France.
Oh, wow.
He was a master composer, virtuoso violinist, and he was like a general, a lieutenant in the French army. So he had accolade upon accolades.
And nobody really knows about this person. It's the first time I'm hearing about him.
But what I'm saying, and you're a musical person. Mm-hmm. You hear about Mozart, you hear Beethoven.
Of course.
But why don't you hear someone who in his time was more important than Mozart?
Wow.
And so what I wanted to do in my own way, and so I founded this artistic collective, is to collaborate with other artists who have like visions, and we can present beautiful programming with this vision that it's not Black History Month that his music should be heard. Because when you hear his compositions, it's just beautiful music written by someone of African descent.
Right.
And I think, in my opinion, there's a woman composer who was the most important American composer, and she's African American, Florence Price. She was a troubadour for women composers here in America during the turn of the century. Mm-hmm. And she was a career woman in the 1900s, an African American, like she's kind of like along the lines of a Madam C.J. Walker, like that level of significance. Her music should be paired with Aaron Copland or some of the greatest American composers, because that's what she is. She's a great American composer. And the same thing happens in visual arts, in dance. I'm sure even sometimes in pop music, we're always pushed into a category of just Black History Month,
right,
Juneteenth,
mm-hmm.
or a special Black programming.
Mm-hmm.
And I think sometimes what we have to offer is so universal and so important. How do we platform this? And so
same thing for jazz too.
Exactly.
A lot of people don't know that African Americans created jazz. So
and
classic jazz, big band jazz, all of that. That's our culture.
And what's so important, like when you look at something like the spiritual, if I can chime in on that, during the turn of the century, the spiritual was happened to be, it was taken from its minstrel plantation setting, and some of the Black publishers and composers started arranging the spiritual so that it could be presented alongside the French songs in recital and the German songs. And so it was supposed to add to the classical canon of classical singing as another offering to put in your classical repertoire, not just for the church or not just to be sung as, but it was actually rearranged to be as sophisticated as the German leader mm-hmm. in presentation. And this is one, like the mission that I really want for Artistic Legacy Collective, is to pair with yourself and do like a Duke Ellington sacred concert, which is classical and jazz.
That's right.
It's classical and jazz all at the same time, because that's some sophisticated writing. You hear me?
It is.
And so it's that kind of approach of just presenting beautiful music by us, or beautiful art by us, or dance, etc. And it goes on infinitely. But that's the premise on which I and how I chose to sculpt this vision.
Are you able to give some words of encouragement for people that are trying to break into the industry, especially within the fine arts side of music, which is all of the classical and becoming classically trained as a vocal expert, an artist? Is there something that you can say? Because there are a lot of people that they don't even know how to break into this industry, and those that are in the industry, just within the time of COVID, artists are just trying to figure out, how do we pivot? How do we keep going? But those young individuals that are coming up, is there something that you could say to them that will continue to spark their interest and continue with this self-determination principle in life?
Self-determination during time of COVID. I think one of the things that's so important for us to understand is the playing field is now leveled. For instance, the Rochelle Lightfoot, which I really believe that it can go viral and will go viral, it's very imperative that we realize it's a matter of resourcefulness when it comes to self-determination, strategic planning. What that means is, what I learned, you incorporate yourself as a business or a sole proprietor. This is business talk, but you have to understand the art of business in relation to your given art. That's a universal principle, but when it comes to classical singing, you have to understand the nature of the business, and you have to be able to craft programming and opportunities for yourself. Because now, since opportunities are not so, like opera houses don't have money, a lot of donors are backing out from donating. The Met closed this season, which is a big deal. That's
a huge deal.
So at this point, you can create a concert, put notification, publicize it, put that donate button, and you can earn a fee. And you can do it from your living room. Mm-hmm. So it's really a matter of the access is there. there's a lot of grant money. So if you are incorporated, you have an organization, you're a sole, research your grants, research your financial opportunities, who's sponsoring what, and see if you can collaborate. If there's another artist who may have resources more than yourself, do a duo concert, create an opportunity for you to perform. And what I'm learning is a lot of times as artists, we want to do everything by ourselves. You don't have to. Sometimes in collaboration, a lot of wealth of opportunity. For instance, of you bringing me on the show, this is an incredible opportunity and the ability for me to even give information. So it's really learning how to strategically plan, back to what I was saying, of opportunities for yourself, funding resources, interesting program that people are engaged with. I know right now in classical music, there's an interest because of the Black Lives Matter movement for African American concert literature, Black operas that were written about Black subject matter, such as Porgy and Bess, various Black composers, and it goes on infinitely. So there's an interest around that. So if that's the thing, create programming around it and find out what people are interested in deliver. So understanding your market. So it's really a matter of being resourceful and business oriented, I think, more than anything, especially during COVID, in essence.
So how can people find out more about your organization and contact you and follow your journey in music?
Awesome. You can find Angel Baritone is my Instagram hashtag. I also have my Facebook of Angel Refusé. Added to that, you can also follow me at angelrefusé.com if you want to get in touch with me, want consultation or programming. We can definitely talk, and you can reach out to me via online on my website. So
I want to thank you so much, Angel, for taking the time to spend your time with us on this evening. And happy Kwanzaa to you and your family, and have a wonderful, blessed new year. I can't wait to see all the things that are going to come in the future to come. So thank you so much.
Thank you for having me, Rochelle. It was an absolute delight.
And I'm going to hold you to that duet that you're talking about doing with me in the future. So you heard it here first.
Yes, we will definitely do it together. I'm looking forward to it.
We'll be right back, everyone.
Seeking more education and information? Head on over to the Henderson Financial Group Facebook page for a full hour of the American Cream, each and every Saturday morning at 9:15. And on Wednesdays at noon, join Hyacinth and Robert Henderson for their web series, Transition, where they share their personal journeys on life, lessons, and legacy. Check out the Henderson Financial Group for a full lineup of free educational shows.
Everything must change. Nothing stays the same. Everything must change. Nothing and no one goes unchanged. The young become the old, and mysteries do unfold, 'cause that's the way of time. Nothing and no one goes unchanged. There are not many things in life you can be sure of, except the rain comes from the clouds, sun lights up the sky, and hummingbirds do fly.
winter turns to spring, a wounded heart will heal, but never much too soon. Everything must change. Except the rain comes from the clouds, sun lights up the sky, and hummingbirds do fly. Rain comes from the sky, sun lights up the clouds, and hummingbirds do fly. Hummingbirds do fly. Rain comes from the clouds, sun lights up the sky, and music brings me life.
Are you not sure what to wear to your next business meeting, conference, interview, or that special event? Then call Christy Grace Chambers, your wardrobe and lifestyle specialist and founder of I Am Chic. Yes, Christy has it covered. Specializing in virtual consultations, styling for day-to-day and special occasions, closet audits, and so much more. Be sure to tune in to Christy's monthly show, Fashion Politically Speaking, on NBC's 6 in the Mix. To schedule an appointment, visit her website, iamchic.net. That's iamchic.net. Sit back, relax, and know that Christy has it covered. Join us tomorrow for my next episode of our Kwanzaa celebration series. If you enjoyed the show, I ask that you like and subscribe to my channel. You'll get all the latest updates on my new docuseries entitled Soul Moments, which is an intimate look into my musical journey. I'm Rochelle Lightfoot, and I thank you for watching.
It's a holiday. Let's celebrate Kwanzaa. Oh, it's the holiday, Kwanzaa, Kwanzaa, Kwanzaa. Let's celebrate Kwanzaa, Kwanzaa, Kwanzaa. It's Kwanzaa, Kwanzaa.